Hello, and welcome back to Every Problem. This is Stewart Calculus 8th edition, section 1.1, problem 43. For this group of problems, it says evaluate f of negative 3, f of 0, and f of 2 for the piecewise defined function. Then sketch a graph of the function. So looking at 43, it says f of x equals, for part of it, it says x plus 1 if x is less than or equal to negative 1. Then it says that we'll have f of x be x squared if x is greater than negative 1. So with a piecewise function, right, as we had just read, it's pretty much a condition where if your input here, right, x, if your input is within some set domain, then you're going to have a different rule that you'll be using, right? A different function. So if our x is greater than negative 1, we're going to use x squared. If our x, the input value, is less than or equal to negative 1, we're going to use this one here, x plus 1. And so they want us to find f of negative 3, f of 0, and f of 2. So f of negative 3, we're going to use this top one here because, as we can see, right, negative 3 is less than negative 1. So we'll use the x plus 1 function. So negative 3 plus 1 equals negative 2. Then, when we have f of 0, well, 0 is greater than negative 1, so we'll use the x squared function. We'll have 0 squared, and that will just give us 0. Then lastly, we have f of 2. And again, 2 it is greater than negative 1, so again, we'll use the x squared function. We'll have 2, and that's going to give us 4. So now what they want us to do is they want us to graph the function. And this is going to be a little bit more interesting of a function because it's pretty much it. Sorry, I'm just thinking about how straight to draw, or how long to draw this line. Maybe 3 full squares? Yeah, something like that. Or 1, 2, 3, maybe 4. Anyway, sorry it took so long to make that decision. But anyways, it's going to be interesting because part of the graph is going to be just a line, and then the other part is going to be a curve because we have that x squared there. So starting with the first part, right? When we have negative 3, which is 1, 2, 3, we get negative 2, 1, 2, okay? And that graph has a slope of 1, as we can see, because the function for that piecewise section is x plus 1. So that means for every increase in x, our y will increase by 1. Oops. So if it's a slope of 1, then we're going to increase the function by 1 all the way up to x equals negative 1. And at negative 1 we'll stop, so then we'll make the line go this way, the other direction, right? Now, that's going to be our closed section, right? Because x is greater than or less than or equal to negative 1, which means it can include negative 1. Now for the second part, x squared if x is greater than equal to or greater than negative 1. So, well, right at the point negative 1, x squared would just be 1. So what we're going to have is an open circle here, and x equals 0 at 0, right? or y equals 0 at the point x equals 0. And then when we plug in 2 for x, 1, 2, we do get 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And so because this is a quadratic, right, in x squared, our curve is going to look something like this. And that's what our piecewise function will look like.